Back to another episode here from Stefan English, where we try to do English right. Today's the topic that we will be doing will be a topic about technology and the effects of technology on attention span and memory. This is one of my classes I usually do with my B1 students. And here we will have what I usually do will be the vocabulary list. Then we will have our reading, and then finally conversation questions. In this video, what I'll be doing is just going through the reading and the vocabulary words, trying to explain the vocabulary words to the best of my ability. And then if anyone wants to, we can have a conversation about this topic that I have with my students. So let's start here with first some vocabulary words. So first is attention span. Attention span. Attention span is the amount of time a person can focus on something without getting distracted. Getting distracted. Now, if you're wondering what the word distracted means, I have it here next. Distracted. Not able to focus because your attention is on something else. So let's go back to the first one, attention span. The amount of time a person can focus on something without getting distracted. So without, as if I make it into simpler terms, without breaking your focus on something. So yeah, getting distracted is basically breaking your focus on something. All right. Notification, a message or alert on a device to inform you about something. Inform is basically letting you know, or telling you something. Letting you know something, or telling you something, right? Telling you something. Now, one of the things I've been doing recently with all my classes, every month my kids don't like it, is that I give them a essay to write, which obviously helps them with developing their writing skills. Here in Poland, they don't get much chances to write. They can read very well, but then to write in English, it can be a little bit challenging. Now, there's something that I'm seeing with most of my students doing, but also I'm seeing it in textbooks where you're seeing STH. Now, when you're writing, STH is not a word. The word is something, all right? I know the books do it and you see it and everyone says it's something, but when you're writing, it is this something, all right? So, something that was fresh on my mind because I've been correcting papers recently. All right, let's get back onto what we're doing here. So the next word is stimulation. Stimulation, something that makes the brain active or excited. So for example, playing video games creates stimulation. All right, it stimulates us. Memorize. To learn something, you can remember it. Sorry, to learn something so you can remember it exactly. Memorize. All right. Convenient. Convenient, I think we did this one in one of our previous episodes where we did the word convenient. And convenient, I said to you guys, it means easy. Easy to use, and helpful. So this is convenient. This is easy to use and helpful. Mindfulness. Mindfulness, the practice of being fully present and aware of the moment. So now that we are using phones for almost everything, I think we are not that present in our lives. Things are happening around us and we do not always see it, or if we are seeing it, we do not view it by seeing it ourselves. We view it through the screen of a device, maybe a phone, a tablet, any of these things. All right. And then the last word I have here, overuse. To use something too much. To overuse. All right, now let's go over to the reading now, where I do have some more vocabulary words and also some phrases or sayings that I will go through later on to help you guys understand what they mean. So first we start with the reading. The effect of technology on attention span and memory. Technology has changed the way we live and work. Many people now use smartphones, tablets, and computers every day. These devices help us stay connected and make tasks easier. However, they may also affect our attention span. An attention span is the amount of time a person can focus on something without getting distracted. Studies show that using technology for long periods can make it harder to concentrate. Social media and apps are designed to keep us engaged. They send notifications, messages, and updates to grab our attention. This constant stimulation can train our brains to seek quick rewards like likes or comments. Instead of focusing on one task for a long time, as a result, people might struggle to finish schoolwork, read books, or focus during meetings. Technology also impacts memory. In the past, people memorized phone numbers, addresses, and other important details. Now we store this information on our devices. While this makes life convenient, it can make our memories weaker. If we rely too much on technology, we might forget how to remember things on our own. Despite these challenges, technology can also help improve attention and memory. Educational apps, games, and tools can train the brain to focus and learn new skills. For example, puzzles and memory games on apps can strengthen the brain. However, it is important to use these tools wisely and not overuse them. In conclusion, technology has both positive and negative effects on attention spans and memory. To stay balanced, it is important to take breaks from screens, practice mindfulness, and spend time on activities that do not involve technology. By doing so, we can enjoy the benefits of technology without losing focus or memory skills. So there we have it with the reading. Now, what I will do is that I'm going to scroll all the way back up and we will go through it paragraph by paragraph, working on these vocabulary words and other words that I think may need a little bit more explanation or need a little bit more explaining. All right. First one we have is concentrate. Technology has changed the way we live and work. Many people now use smartphones, tablets, and computers every day. These devices help us stay connected and make tasks easier. However, they also affect our attention span. An attention span is the amount of time a person can focus on something without getting distracted. Studies show that using technology for a long time can make it harder to concentrate. Concentrate. Now, if we look for another word that means concentrate, another word that means concentrate would be focus. Focus. So it makes it harder for us to focus on something, to concentrate on something, right? So I don't have it in the vocabulary there. But it makes it harder for us to focus, concentrate. Next one, next paragraph, and we're going to go through the word engage. Social media and apps are designed to keep us engaged. Engaged. All right, it says that it keeps us engaged. This will actually become the phrasal verb, keep us engaged in, I should say. And what that means is that we are participating in the use of something. So, engaged in is that we're participating, we're taking part in the activity of using social media. So, keeping us engaged is like we cannot put it down. We always want to scroll to the next video. We want to watch the next video, the next TikTok, the next reel on Instagram. So it keeps us engaged in something. All right. So social media and apps are designed. This means they are created to keep us engaged. Right? Keep us engaged in social media. Keep us engaged in social media. All right. Keep us engaged. Keep us taking part. Always watching social media. All right. They send notifications, messages, and updates to grab our attention. Grab our attention. This means that they send these things to always have our attention. Okay, so they're always taking our attention, always going after our attention. So, for example, let's look at apps that send us too many notifications. Let's start with Facebook and Instagram. So, anytime you have your phone and you hear a ping or whatever noise you have, or alert tone that you have for your phone, or even vibrating, saying that you're doing something that may be important or just relaxing doing something. Anytime you hear that vibration or that alert, you usually look at your phone. So with that is what it means by grabbing, or to grab your attention. So that grabs your attention. All right. Next word we'll go through is constant. What does the word constant mean? So it says this constant stimulation. First, let's go back to stimulation here. Stimulation, it says stimulation is something that makes the brain active or excited. So let's look at here. So stimulation, something that makes the brain active or excited. This constant stimulation can train our brains. So this constant means something that is happening all the time. So something that's constant is happening all the time. All right, maybe every day, every hour. So I constantly hear sirens in big cities. It's always happening. You always hear it. It's something you always hear it. All right. Stimulation, as we said, something that makes the brain excited and active. All right, so this all the time excitement and activity can train our brains to seek. Seek means to look for. To look for. Seek means to look for. So it trains our brains to seek quick rewards. So to look for quick rewards like likes and comments instead of focusing on one task for a long time. As a result, people might struggle to finish their schoolwork. To finish schoolwork, sorry. Struggle here. Struggle here will mean that people may find it hard. Struggle to find something hard to do. Very important. Find something hard to do. So, as a result, people might find it hard to finish schoolwork, read books, or focus during meetings. All right, so that is what that word struggle means there. So people may find it hard to focus on or finish schoolwork, read books, or focus during meetings. And I think we all can understand that part there. Next part. Next paragraph. Technology also impacts memory. Impacts. The word impacts is a synonym or the same word as if having an effect, an effect. All right. So it has an effect. So it can have a good effect, a good impact, a good effect, or a bad impact or bad effect. All right. So bad. So it also has impacts. It also impacts memory. In the past, people memorized. If we go back here, memorize, we said that memorize means to learn something, you can remember it exactly. To remember something so you can remember it exactly. So if we look here, so in the past, people memorized phone numbers, addresses, and other important details. Now we store this information on our devices. Devices, these are used, this word means, word devices means a thing made to, especially a piece of mechanical or electronic equipment. So so for example, electronic equipment like our phones. It's like a tool that is made to do things, right? So that's what it means by devices. While this makes life convenient, if you remember what I said before, convenient is another word for instead of saying easy. So saying that you're at B1 level or trying to get to B1 level and watching this video, instead of saying this is easy, you can say, oh, this is convenient. All right? Step up your language. Step up your English language, and we can start using words like this. Convenient instead of easy. It can make our memories weaker. If we rely too much on technology, rely means, another word for rely is depend on. So we depend on. So what we will rely on, okay, as children, we will rely on our parents. We may depend on our parents for food, clothing, and a place to live. If we have a job, we rely on our employer, our boss. We rely on these people. So this is what the word means. The word rely means to depend on, right? So it's basically you need someone's help, right? If you need someone's help. So we rely too much, we depend on too much, and we need the help of technology too much. we might forget how to remember things on our own. So let's see from this paragraph here, how many people can still remember their personal phone number or can remember more than just one phone number? There's something that I've seen where we use Google Maps so much we do not even remember how to go from one place to the other without using our devices. All right. So without using our devices. All right, next paragraph. Despite these challenges, technology can also help improve attention. Improve means to make something better. All right? So to make something better. So despite these challenges, technology can also help make our attention better. Or I will work it in here. So despite these challenges, technology can also help make our attention and memory better. All right. So instead of saying such long and simple, you can use that one word, improve. All right. So let's help you develop your vocabulary with that word, improve. All right. So we have another word there, improve. All right. Let's go to the last paragraph, the last sentence in this paragraph. However, it is important to use these tools wisely and not overuse them. Let's first start with the word overuse. When we look back at the vocabulary words, it said overuse means to use something too much. All right. However, it is important to use these tools wisely and not use them too much. All right. And not use them too much. Or instead of saying use them too much, you can say overuse. Now, the word that you might be wondering, what does this mean? The word wisely. Wisely means to use it in a good way. That's the first one. Use it in a good way. Use it in a way that shows you have experience or have knowledge in how to use it. So let's say you're baking a cake and you have to put sugar into the cake. Using the sugar wisely would be putting in as much as maybe the recipe calls for, or maybe a little bit more, just to get the taste that you're looking for. But then overusing it would be just taking it and pouring all the sugar in, pouring the sugar into the cake without measuring, or without checking to see how much you need. So that would be the difference between using something wisely and overusing something. So when you use something wisely, you use it with a little bit of knowledge, you knowing how much you should use, or maybe if you need to use a little bit more, you can add a little bit more. You use it in a way that shows that you have experience. For example, okay, the recipe says I need 2 ounces of sugar, but you know that 2.5 ounces or 2.5. No, let's use tea. You know that tea, that it says, okay, you should put 1 spoon of sugar in tea, but you know that if you put 1.5 spoon of sugar in tea, it tastes a little bit better. So you use it wisely instead of overusing, where you just take it and just throw the sugar in or pour the sugar into the tea without measuring or without checking to see how much you really need, right? That would be the difference between using it wisely and overusing it. So use it wisely and overuse. In conclusion, technology has both positive and negative effects on attention span and memory. To stay balanced, it is important to take breaks from screens, practice mindfulness, and spend time on activities that do not involve technology. Now, let's look at this word here, involve. And the word involve means it's like does not have, it does not include, or it is not it's not necessary. It's not a very important part. All right. So to stay balanced, it is important to take breaks from screens, practice mindfulness, and spend time on activities that do not have technology, that technology is not important part of it. All right, so that is what it is. So it does not have, it does not involve, does not have technology. All right, so that do not have technology. Involve, so involve also is like it's a part of. So have are part of. All right, so do not involve, so technology is not a part of the activity that we're doing. All right, so that will be that for with our vocabulary here. So if you want, you guys can go over this again. You can read over this by yourself, pause it and read it, and then you can read it to yourself and then listen back to me reading it and see if your pronunciation of some of the words that are here are similar to my pronunciations. I'm not saying that my pronunciation is perfect, but maybe it can help you pronouncing it more and more like a native speaker. So here we have the topic, effects of technology on attention span and memory. I hope you enjoyed this topic today. Hopefully we can have a class where we will do the conversation classes, conversation questions together. But for now, thank you guys for joining me in this class. Hopefully I see you guys in the next video. And for now, take care. See you guys again.